MOSPEADA. Doing the helmet. This is an interesting helmet. I had a decent amount of fun making it. The first one I did, there it goes. Didn't quite come out right. This one, absolutely perfect. As flawless as I think I can get. Let's pull you in. Let me show you where we're at. This thing's been printed in 6 pieces. I've got 2 visor caps, a little chin piece. I took that off the original one, and so I could lay this flat and print it. Way better than the weird cantilevered I'd have to do for just a little bit of support. But the inside looks, the whole thing, I'm very happy with this one. And this, like a dream. The visor's going to be interesting. We got a couple of neat things coming up. But here, check this out. I got a little weird, right? This is the front cap that goes on the where the chin is, and cut a recess, and I printed a little microphone looking thing. Let's see if we can get us to focus here. It's this cool little microphone looking thing. It's neat. Way overdid it. Not necessary, but I wanted to add a little realism. That's something that only I will ever see. Well, and you now. These little ear caps just fit. I mean, the whole thing, I'm super happy with how this turned out. That's going to be attached right like that. And then this piece, of course, goes in the front. And then we have a helmet. So step 1 is to sand everything but this. This is getting set aside. This will probably get its whole own video. So we'll deal with the visor in a bit. Everything gets sanded, except for the resin parts. I have a couple of resin parts. But these 2 pieces get sanded until they are smooth. So real quick note on sanding. See this line right here? Is it the other side? Yeah, this side's easier to see. It's got kind of a little sheen. It's a bit shinier than the rest. When I sand, I'm not going for smooth. I'm going for matte. Because once everything's been sanded, the sheen changes. It's pretty easy to notice. My goodness, do I love this helmet. It's been sanded to 100. Pretty good. Nothing's been glued yet. I can still take this chin cup out. That's next step. Glue. I'm just going to glue this in place. Little CA glue. My standard medium weight CA glue. We'll glue everything in place. Let it dry for a little bit. And cover the whole thing in glazing putty and acetone. While I'm waiting for everything to do what everything does, got a couple of holes, right? Look at that. See them? Just a couple of holes here and there. I'm going to fill those in with just standard glazing putty. Not thinned and nothing. So any weird any weird large openings just gets filled in. It's just the top flat surfaces that it happens at, which is clearly an issue with my settings. And I'll have to fix that in a bit. Right now it's fine. See, I say I'm not covering the whole thing. And then the spots that I'm covering start to get larger and larger and larger. And next thing you know, I have the whole thing covered. Which is possible. And if it happens, it happens. I'd planned on thinning everything with acetone. But if I don't, it's not the end of the world, too. All right, now we let it dry. It's time to do its thing. I'm gonna lightly sand it with a sanding sponge, see where we're at. Probably going right to primer. Sanded to 220. I'm happy. This thing looks perfect. I'm gonna prime it and leave it overnight. This turned out fantastic. Look at that. I am so happy. All right. Simple gloss enamel. Nothing special. Just gonna coat the whole thing in a nice even coat of white gloss enamel. Put on a second coat, and it instantly orange peeled. Which means, well, since I had such a problem with the nozzle, I'm going to assume there was something weird with the paint. And I had some kind of cross-contamination going on here. So, I let it cure, we sand it back and start over. I had to sand it all the way back. Look at this. Stupid thing delaminated on me. But it's unfortunate. There's sanding it down softened the PLA enough that I now have a bunch of spots that are kind of recessed because it, you know, it's what happens. So I'm going to coat the whole thing again in glazing putty. I'm not going to thin it down. I'm just going to coat the whole thing and be done with it. So there it is. It's not as good as it was, but you know, this is giving me an opportunity to like smooth out the back that I didn't like. So gotta look at it, you know, positively. I think it'll be okay. So in the end, this is where we are with the helmet. It didn't turn out as nice as the first time. There's a couple of defects here and there. Not enough that I'm really going to sweat over it. So next step. So these are the little the back pieces here. Go on. They need to be cleared. And then I primered these black. And then I just lightly dusted them with a silver. And it's got a really neat look about it. The image kind of, or the detail kind of pops a bit better. So next step is to glue that in here. And then we clear coat everything. So I'm using 12 by 18. I think that's 4 mil craft foam. I marked this one with a curve that would match this curve. But I kind of liked the just a little bit exposed there of the foam. Kind of seems more like a gasket to me, and I think that's neat. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's a little warm. But I like this little bit of a reveal that gives. Trying to line up the edge of the foam with the edge of the ear. Trying to line up the edge of the foam with the edge of the ear cup. I like that. Now in the front, I want a single piece to go as close to this edge as I can get it. Right? So I want it to be just like that. I've already marked. It's upside down, isn't it? Yeah. So I've already marked and measured everything so that this curve matches that curve. Just going to put a little bit of glue, line everything up, and glue it down. This one I'm going to be a little more careful with because I really want everything to line up properly. Not that anybody but me will ever see it. So now I'm just going to run a nice thin bead of glue along the front. Luckily it's foam, so it will contort to wherever I put it. So if I'm a little off here or there, I can just bend it a little bit. This is a little long, so I'll cut that off. Just a little bit. But I really like that look. You can't see it, but the little foam reveal I got going on, I'm really interested in that. I'm probably going to do the same thing along the inside edge here. Just a little bit of a foam and then a piece of foam. I want kind of a, I don't know about this yet. We'll save this whole chunk for last, because it also depends on how it fits on me. I'm probably going to end up doing 2 layers along the inside here. Next step is just to fill this all up with foam. Just 2-inch strips, cut them and make them fit. I left these open because I don't want to be deaf. And too much muting, it's hard to hear in buckets. It's going to have a visor over the whole thing anyway. But, we can get this to... That's not bad. I kind of like it. It fits like really well. I'm very happy with how this fits. Once I put a visor on, I won't be able to, I'll have to be deaf and mute. So many little flyaways. But this thing, like I said, look at this. It fits perfect. I absolutely love how this looks. How it fits. Very, very happy. Visor. Visor is going to be a little more complicated because the visor has lots of stuff going on with it. Not enough, or so much that's not going to fit in this video. I am calling this one done. The helmet, good condition. I like where we're at. I'm rambling now though, so I should kind of get to the end, get to the point. All right. We have 2 videos left in this base armor series. I'm getting a little choked up about it. We have the visor, which will be next. Then we have thighs and the full reveal. I'm excited. The undersuit just came in today. I'm like, ooh. Which is just compression pants and a tight red shirt. But still, it's kind of exciting to have it almost everything's printed. I just have to do a lot more to get it done. Speaking of which, we're getting it done real soon. Hope you, you know, like and subscribe, share. We'll see you next time, I hope.